How much reading is too much reading, or how much is enough? Obviously, I can't read 100% of the time, probably, but I don't want to read 0, so some number in the middle must be right. At what point am I reading too many books and now I'm in overkill mode where I don't have time to apply it? What does good application look like? Scary noise, scary noise. And I'm not going to end up coming at a precise percentage point because I'm not a big math guy and I don't really think life works that way. So let me explain some illumination I had on this subject through a story. About a month ago, my wife and I were driving on a road trip to visit a bunch of our friends who have moved around the country, and our first stop was to visit our friends Paul and Lauren and their little baby Lucy. Pretty soon before we left, Paul texted me and said, "Hey, I'm going to a punk rock concert with some friends the night that you guys get here. We've had it booked for a long time. Do you want to come? I'll get your ticket." So let me tell you a little bit about my friend Paul. Paul is very kind, loves BoJack Horseman, and is kind of a monster on a bass. He and I have actually performed together a couple times as part of an improv jazz group called Lightning McQueen and the Headlight Stickers, which was super fun. Now, despite being in a band together, Paul and I have radically different music tastes. I would say almost without exception, any music Paul would play in his car, I would consider too loud or too hardcore for what I like. Like, if I try, I can usually appreciate it, but it's not something I would have in my steady diet. But I like Paul and I like music. So when he offered to take me to the show, I said, yeah, of course. Then a little while later, I asked, hey, what should I wear? And he said, I'm going to be in shorts because I'm planning on running the mosh pit most of the show. And I don't know, maybe you watching this have done a mosh pit before. I had never. My ideal version of a concert is usually like sitting down and then you clap at the end of each song. That sounds perfect to me. My back hurts, already standing up. I don't really want to run around and punch people and run in circles. But I had already signed up, so too late. Fast forward to the concert. We stand back a little bit from where the mosh pit's going to be forming. The opening band plays. It was the Ataris. They were super great. And it was really chill. Everyone just stood and talked. And I thought, I can do this. This is great. Short little intermission. MXPX comes on. People start getting a little hype. And as soon as they hit their first chord, and this is not an exaggeration at all, on the first chord, people rushed to the front, people behind me, and shoved me, not intentionally, not to hurt me, just because I was in front of them, and I was thrown into the mosh pit. Anyway, I was fine. I came out. I stood on the side. And I started watching the concert and clapping, you know, like a little guy who doesn't know the songs, trying to mouth along. And I thought, this is good. You know, I did enough. I can say I moshed. I can tell my wife and she'll be proud of me, and that'll be it. I was mentally prepared to just stand there for the next 2 hours on the outskirts. And then, like a total nerd, standing in the middle of this punk rock concert with all these people slamming around into each other, this quote from Flight to Arras came to me. Pause there, let me explain the book. If you haven't read anything by Antoine Saint-Exupéry before, he was a French author and pilot, so a lot of his books have to do with aviation. You might know him from his book, The Little Prince. But this book is nonfiction, and it's about a sortie, a military mission, a recon mission, that the author knows is going to be futile, that he knows he's probably going to his death. And so he alternates chapters between the flight and description of the flight with philosophical meanderings and thoughts of his childhood. And it's very French, it's very poetic, even though it's in English, it's very philosophical throughout. And anyway, at one point he is contemplating this idea of participating in the world and being a part of it. And what does that mean? And this quote is what came to me during the concert. And he says, "The notion of looking on at life has always been hateful to me. What am I if not a participant? In order to be, I must participate." Now, that quote came back to me completely out of the blue, and I thought, you know, Saint X would mosh right now. I don't want to look on at this. I want to be a part of it. I want to participate with my friend. I want to experience this the way he wanted me to experience it. I don't want to look on at this life. I want to participate. And so this time, willingly, I threw myself into the mosh pit. And you know what? I loved it. I didn't mosh the entire time. I don't think really anybody does. You mosh a little bit and then you come out, you take a break for a song, you go back and you just play human pinball with a bunch of other sweaty people running around. I had a blast. Did my feet kind of hurt because a bunch of people stepped on them? Yes. Did I almost fall on some guy's puke? Also, yes. Did I wake up the next morning with a very concerning ring in my ears that has now convinced me to always wear earplugs if and when I ever go to a show like that again? Yes. But I participated. I was a part of that night, and I was a part of that night with my friend Paul. Hey, buddy! And now I understand him a lot better. It's not 100% my cup of tea, but I totally get why it is his. That was his happy place, and I was able to go in there and join him in that instead of just watching or hearing about it. To bring it all back to reading, is the point of reading now to convince you to do every haphazard and half dangerous thing out there? No, not really. Let me explain what this book and this concert together taught me about reading and participation in life. I think we could probably all agree with the Saint X quote, right? We're here on this earth to participate, to be a part of things. You know, when you're dead, you can't participate anymore. So it seems reasonable to try and do it as much as we can while we're here. Participation doesn't have to mean going to loud concerts or being extroverted or running a marathon. I think it could be as simple as having a conversation or watching a movie with your family or trying out a new recipe and then inviting people to come over and try it with you. And I think reading falls into that mix in two ways. Firstly, I think reading can be a way to participate in and of itself without even doing anything. By reading Flight to Arras, or by reading Francis Bacon's essays, or Shakespeare, or Huckleberry Finn, you're participating in the great conversation. You're engaging with life, and you're saying, show me what you've got, I want to understand. So don't think that you have to take every book you read and find a way to twist it into tricking you into doing an extroverted activity, because that's just not the case. But the second way that a book can get you to participate in life is like in this example, when a particular quote or phrase encourages you to call your mom or ask somebody out or get up and move. I really want to be careful to not lean into the productivity mindset here where I'm convincing you just read because then it will maximize your possible human productivity and then you'll have maximum enjoyment. I feel like that's a little stressful. The point is, you're alive. It's time to participate, to be a part of the world. And whether that's as crazy as like learning to scuba dive because you just read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and now you can't wait to see the bottom of the ocean, or whether it's as simple as having a picnic because you just read The Wind in the Willows. I think reading is a great way to help get you started in that journey of participation and engaging with life. In fact, me making this video is me trying to participate with you. So do me a favor, participate with me now. Let me know down below what's a book that you read that spurred you to some kind of action and what was that. See you next time in Reasons to Read number 6.